Juan Manuel Pinheiro. I'm a dairy extension specialist in Amarillo, Texas, and today we have the pleasure to have Dr. Fernanda Ferreira and Camila Dauji. And basically they are doing research with large robotic dairies, and they will be telling us a little bit of that. But before we move, you guys would like to introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name is Fernanda Ferreira. I am a cooperative extension specialist with the University of California, Davis, and it's a pleasure to be here today, Juan.
My name is Camila Lage, and I work with Dr. Ferreira as a postdoc, and I'm the leading this project in which we are studying the perspectives of large dairy producers on the AMS installation they are doing.
Okay, so you guys are doing research with milking robots, but another term we listen regularly is AMS. So what does the acronym stand for?
So AMS stands for Automatic Milking Systems, and a lot of people say AMS, some people say robots, and we're also going to hear VMS, which is Voluntary Milking Systems. That's actually one of the companies use VMS to name their units. So those are the common ways that people refer to robots.
Okay.
So let me give a little bit of background. 2 years ago, the California Dairy Research Foundation, the board, contacted us, and they were very interested in understanding a little bit more about the perspective of large dairy farmers across the US when they're installing, the process of installing and transitioning to robots. And we thought it was super interesting because, you know, our dairy farmers in California, they're very interested in adopting technologies in general and specifically this milking robots. And that's when we started contacting dairy farmers, and today we're here with Adam, learning more about their process. And that's the idea of the project, is to get their perspective, document that perspective, and establish or develop an extension program that will help them to get to this information more easily. So basically, we started this research in April 2020. Some of our trip, of course, was delayed because of COVID, unfortunately. But we are having a very good answer from the dairy farmers. We estimate, based on personal communication with the two main companies that sell these robots in the US, we estimate that there are roughly around 100 large dairy farmers with robots in the US. And when we say large, we're talking about dairies that have at least 7 units or at least 7 robots. And so far, we've got the answer for approximately 22, right, Camila? 22 of them.
So, as Fernanda mentioned, we have this objective of document the perspectives of large dairies on how was the process of transitioning to conventional power to an automatic milking system, what was the motivations, the challenge, and everything in the process. So, to achieve this objective, what we are working on, and we developed a survey. So we are contacting dairy farmers that has more than 7 AMS units and asking them to fill out a straightforward survey in which we are asking a lot of things about the reasons why they chose and management questions and all of this, so we can understand better what are the main opportunities and challenges for these large dairies in transitioning to this new system. On another role, we are also working on a systematic review. So we are going through the literature and understanding what are the main topics covered on this AMS for more like large dairies, and what are the opportunities of research which would benefit this new management, which is a bit different when you compare with medium and small dairies. So we are preparing an abstract to the ADSA, and we have like a pool of 16 farms that had answered the survey by that time. So in that pool, we have answers from 9 states, which includes California, Texas, Minnesota, Indiana, Pennsylvania, New York, Wisconsin, and I think New Hampshire. We have like one large dairy in the New England area. So inside this pool of farmers, we had like an average of 12 AMS installed and an average of 720 cows among these farms. And what we were mainly analyzing while preparing this abstract were more like the perceptions they had on why they transitioned to AMS and how they were feeling about it so far. So most of the producers, they decided to transition to AMS for the reasons which is like labor. So they are considering in the future a short of labor and increasing the price, and they think this technology will help to keep people because the employees like to work in this with this technology, and also because they are really interested in improve the cows' welfare in general. And with this, they can have like cows that can achieve a better potential of their milk production, and they can be healthy, and they can improve their overall management, including reproduction. So also, most of them are really happy with the transition, so they would recommend transitioning to AMS to other producers overall. And one thing that most of the people are talking about is how what they would do if they were starting over. So most of them would recommend you to train previous people to work with the robots before transitioning, because this part when they are actually transitioning is really complicated, as Adam mentioned. And most of them plan on having 100% of their cows on AMS. So most of large dairies, they are transitioning kind of partially and to test it, to see if they like it, but most of them said that they would definitely go 100% AMS, which was an interesting thing to see.
So how many dairy farms with AMS system do you guys estimate that are worldwide, and how many do you estimate more or less that are in the US?
So this is an ongoing number, so of course it's increasing, but there is this data from 2017 that Jim Salfer and the extension of Minnesota, he said there was 35,000 units, AMS units worldwide already up and running. Yes, and probably at that time 10% of them were here in the US, right?
Yeah, so we estimate that out of these 3,500 units that are in the US, based on the personal communication that we estimate there are about 100 dairies or so with at least 7 units. So we believe that around 1,000 units, or roughly a little bit less than a third of all the robots in the US are in what we call large dairies, which are in our classifications dairies that have at least 7 units. So this means at least 420 cows being milked under the robots. But this number is increasing. These numbers are 2 years ago, but you can see here in Texas or even California how many new projects are coming up every day. So I think this exponential growth in the number of dairies adopting this technology.